Eric Bolling, co-host of The Specialist and host of Cashin' In, has been temporarily sidelined after allegations published by the Huffington Post. A Fox News spokesperson said yesterday Eric Bolling has been suspended pending the results of an investigation which is currently underway. The HuffPost story late Friday, based on a dozen unnamed sources, said that Bolling, several years ago, allegedly texted an unsolicited photo of male genitalia to 3 current and former colleagues at Fox News and Fox Business. None of the women, who the story describes as having been upset, has come forward, and HuffPost did not identify them to Bolling's lawyer, Michael Bowe. Bowe gave me this statement yesterday. The anonymous, uncorroborated claims are untrue and terribly unfair. We intend to fully cooperate with the investigation so that it can be concluded and Eric can return to work as quickly as possible. The murder of a 27-year-old DNC staffer named Seth Rich has come roaring back into the news. The reason? A lawsuit against Fox News by a network contributor, former D.C. homicide detective Rod Wheeler. The police here say Rich was killed last year during a botched robbery. Fox News retracted an online story about the case in May, saying it didn't meet the network's editorial standards, in part because senior editorial management hadn't approved it. When that story was posted, Wheeler went on several Fox programs and said he had reason to believe there was a connection between Seth Rich and WikiLeaks, which released the Democratic emails that U.S. officials say were obtained by Russian hackers.
When you look at that with the totality of everything else that I found in this case, it's very consistent for a person with my experience to begin to think, well, perhaps there were some email communications between Seth and WikiLeaks.
Wheeler now says he was misquoted in the story by Fox reporter Malia Zimmerman. His lawsuit also names Ed Butowski, a wealthy supporter of President Trump, alleging that Fox worked with Butowski to steer attention away from the Russian hacking of the DNC emails. But less than a week later, as lawnews.com reported, Wheeler told a website, "I am of the personal opinion that the information/article reported by Fox News Channel last Tuesday was essentially correct and worthy of further investigation." Jay Wallace, Fox's president of news, said in a statement, "The accusation that FoxNews.com published Malia Zimmerman's story to help detract from coverage of the Russia collusion issue is completely erroneous. The retraction of this story is still being investigated internally, and we have no evidence that Rod Wheeler was misquoted by Zimmerman." Additionally, Fox News vehemently denies the race discrimination claims in the lawsuit. The dispute between Zimmerman and Rod Wheeler has nothing to do with race. The story was first reported by NPR. Butowski, a Republican donor and occasional Fox guest, hired Wheeler to investigate Seth Rich's death. Butowski told CNN he messaged Wheeler that, quote, "The president just read the article. He wants the article out immediately." But he now says he was only joking, and he challenges Wheeler's allegations.
Wasn't serious because Rod Wheeler was always looking for a job because he has no money. And by the way, this lawsuit is all about Rod Wheeler trying to get money because he messed up. By the way, I've never talked to President Trump in my life, and President Trump nor the White House has anything to do with any of this.
Ed Butowski did bring Wheeler to meet with Sean Spicer a month before the Fox story ran. The White House spokesman told me yesterday that Butowski, a Trump supporter, had asked for 10 minutes to catch up, that the two men described the story in progress, didn't ask him to do anything, and Spicer took no action.
It doesn't bother me that the press secretary would take a meeting with somebody involved in the media about a story. None of that was disclosed. They had a conversation, and that was the end of it. The president didn't have knowledge of the story. The White House didn't